All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises, our glory, our honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakudash, the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. This right here would be a Bible, a lesson for Bible tools. Just a quick showing of this app. I had this app for a while, this Bible app here, and it's pretty much the go-to Bible app when you go to your app store, whether it's Android or Apple iPhone or whatever. It's this app here, Holy Bible app. And the reason why I'm showing this app, okay, is because they have at first, now for a long time they didn't have this Bible. What they have is they have the basically the KJV 1611. But it's another, I guess you could say another version, but it's like a revised version. But it's the KJV 1611. With maybe a few words, these and thous change here and there. And they didn't have this for a while. They had, different translations, different versions of the Bible, but they didn't have the King James Version with the Apocrypha. Okay? So I want to go to the version of the Bibles that they have. Now they have the King James Version Bible, as you can see here. All right, but they also have the King James Version with Apocrypha American Edition. All right, so I downloaded it. And when you go to this particular, now this right here, of course, the KJV has, let's see here. So the KJV has the regular, your average amount of books in it, 66 books from Genesis to Revelation, without the Apocrypha in it. So this is the KJV Bible that we all know and all have. All right. The law, the prophets, Proverbs, Psalms, on into the New Testament. Okay? But now, like I said, they have the King James Version with the Apocrypha American Edition. And when you go to the books, this is what they have. So same thing, the law and the prophets. But then they have Tobit, Judith, the editions of Esther, the Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, Baruch, the three holy children, Susanna on down to 1st and 2nd Maccabees. All right, but they don't have 1st and 2nd Esdras. Okay, they don't have 1st and 2nd Esdras in this version, and this is the American version. So they're still, it's like they're giving you the Apocrypha, but they're still withholding something. And I believe the only reason they even put this version out was because of just how much the Israelites have done with these scriptures just over the past 15 or so years, over a decade being on YouTube and being on the streets. So many different Christians and others are getting into reading the Bible. So they're saying, yeah, okay, well, we have books, part of the Apocrypha, that should be in there. But they don't have them prophecies. And this just goes to show just how important prophecy is. Okay? So now I say, okay, well, let me check Ezra and see if they added anything to Ezra. Okay? So bear with me 1 second. So I went to see if they added anything to Ezra. And Ezra has the 10 chapters. Okay? You have 10 chapters in the book of Ezra, and that's in the the regular Bible. So they didn't add anything to Ezra. And I don't believe they added anything to Nehemiah. So they didn't add, like put first and second Ezra's in there. Okay? Because if they did, then they would have kept, or they would have added the additions of Esther too, but they didn't add the additions of Esther. Okay? They put it, within its own separate book. All right? So they don't have first or second Ezra's in here. All right? So what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right? 11 of the Apocrypha books. So let me get my Apocrypha, because I believe it's 14 books. All right, 14 books. So I'm going to get my hard copy of the Apocrypha. All right, so you got first and second Ezra's. You got Tobit in here, but they don't have it here. All right. They have Judith. And I'm just going through this, just to show you. All right, they have the rest of Esther. But just to show how important the Apocrypha is to the scriptures, and how important it is that what we're reading when we're out there on the streets or going to the Bible, it's so important that they have to still give you these half-truths. Right? So they have the wisdom of Solomon. Right? They have the wisdom of Solomon. They have Ecclesiasticus. All right? Baruch. They have Baruch. They have Susanna. Okay? They have Bel and the Dragon. But they don't have the prayer of Manasseh here. Let's see here. And but they do have the three holy children. Okay. So they do have the song of the three holy children, but they don't have the prayer of Manasseh in here, and they don't have first and second Ezra. Okay. So it's not a full edition of the Apocrypha in this version. Okay? And that's the King James Version with the Apocrypha American Edition. So now I downloaded this version, the revised version, with the Apocrypha, 1885, 1895. Okay? So now when I go through here, they have first and second Ezra in here. Okay? So they have first and second Ezra. All right? Or Ezra. First and second Ezra. All right? Okay, and as I checked, everything lines up here. Yep, all 16 chapters. They have Tobit, Judith, right? Same thing that I went through before. They have the rest of Esther. They have the wisdom of Solomon. They have Ecclesiasticus. All right. They have Baruch. Now it says they have the pistol here of Jeremy. And I'm not, let me see, that should be, right, so they have the pistol of Jeremy, which is the end of Baruch chapter 6. All right, but they separated it here, right? Because they have the 5 chapters of the Baruch, and then they have the 6 chapters. So that's how that's separated there. The song of the three holy children. Now you notice it says, now they see here which follow within the 3rd chapter of Daniel after this place. So they added it to there. All right, the same thing that we have in our regular hard copy Apocryphas. Right, and they have Susanna. Let's see here. They have Bel and the Dragon. Now this one here actually has the prayer of Manasseh in it. Okay, in this revised version, 1895. Okay, so they have so far they have all the books. All right, and they have 1st Maccabees, and they have 2nd Maccabees. So this basically has all the books that are in the King James Version Bible. Okay, so that's this version. So brothers, we have different apps and books and things, but this is just another app that actually that we could use for the Apocrypha. Okay, outside of the other apps we use. So with that, I want to get, matter of fact, I'll download this one too. So yeah, because I want to compare the 1885 version and the 1895 version. So let's see what they have in here. All right, so this is. All right, so in this 1885 version, it's just your 66 books. So they don't have the Apocrypha added here. And at the same chapters throughout Ezra, Nehemiah, and Esther. All right. So that's that version. But this version here, the revised version with the Apocrypha, 1895, has the same books as the King James Version 1611. All right. So let me get a scripture. Let's see what scripture I want to get. Matter of fact, let's see if I can search a scripture in the Apocrypha. Let's see. Speak words of prophecy. Because in that first version, they said they had the Apocrypha. Yep, here it is. They said they had the Apocrypha, but then they didn't have all the books. So I'm put here, speak words of prophecy. And the first scripture that comes up is 2nd Ezra 15. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. Okay, let's go to it. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. So that version, that American edition version, this version here, King James Version with the Apocrypha, American edition, that is an omission of the scriptures. So this version is going off. But this 1895 revised version, this has everything. Right? So here you go. 2nd Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause thou them to be written in paper. Now, when you go to that particular scripture in the King James Version, 2nd Ezra 15, where it says in verse 2, and cause them. It doesn't add the and cause thou them. So there's a little difference there in certain words, but for the majority, it lines up with the King James Version 1611. Okay? It says, and cause thou them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not their imaginations against thee. Let not the unbelief of them that speak against thee trouble thee. Which, when you go into verse 3, And the book that we have, the hard copy book, in 2nd Ezra 15, it says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity. So incredulity is for it. It basically means unbelief, because incredulity basically means uncredit or no credit. Okay, so the incredulity of them trouble thee, unbelief, no faith. But here it says, let not the unbelief of them that speak against thee trouble thee. Okay, because now it says speak against thee, for all the unbelievers shall die in their unbelief. And in verse 4, it says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So it's just a small difference. There may be major, I just downloaded and just seen, what they had here. So if there's anybody else that want to, download it and read it and go through it, and I'll read it and go through it. I might use it in a lesson. If it, it's still the scriptures. And of course, I have the KJV 1611 as well. But, this was just a lesson of edification for, another Bible tool. All right, another app that actually has the Apocrypha in it. And this, like I said, this revised version 1895 has all the Apocryphal books as opposed to the other version I downloaded. Okay. And this International Children's Bible, this is also pretty good Bible. If you just want it in plain English, just certain verses, just certain words to get. Kind of like how we speak plainly today in English. It kind of gives more of a plain reading of the scriptures, without the these and the thous. And I just use it for reference. But that was the point. So I hope that this video was helpful and edifying. I want to give all praises, all glory, all honors unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Download the app and download these versions of the scriptures, for your studies and for edification. Until the next video, I'll say Shalom.